So agile model. Agile model means what? What is this agile model? Agile model is nothing but this model is suitable for long-term projects. This model is suitable for long-term projects in which the requirements of the client is changing very frequently. That means, see, if the client gives you one requirement today, until the end of the project, the client will not say, okay, go with the same requirement. No, until the end of the project, the client will be going on changing the requirement. That means every for 2 months or 3 months, he will go on changing the requirement. Or else, let's say today he has given you one requirement. Day after tomorrow, he will come and say that this is not what my requirement. This is what my requirement is. Okay, so in this model, the requirements of the client is changing very frequently, so that we need to enhance the application. That means we have to test the application and release the application to the client in a frequent manner. That means for every maximum 1 month or 2 months or 5 months. Okay. So, for understanding of this agile model, we need to understand some terminologies. Okay, so to understand this agile model, we need to understand some terminologies. What are they? Scrum Master, Sprint, Sprint Finalization, Jira, Scrum Meeting, Sprint Sign Off, QA team, Technical team. So these are all the models that you should know before we understand this agile model. Okay, so now coming to the Scrum Master. Scrum Master means what? Scrum Master is a person who is interacting with the client, collecting the requirements from the client, and preparing the Jiras. Now tell me, who is a Scrum Master?
Business analyst.
Business analyst. Business analyst is the one who is going to interact with the client, collect the requirements from the client, and prepare the Jiras. So Scrum Master is nothing but he is a business analyst. Now next one is the Sprint. Sprint means what? It is nothing but the release to deliver to the client. Sprint is nothing but the release to deliver to the client. See, let's say our project is for 2 years. So after 2 years, you will not go ahead and show what you have done, right? So after like every 2 months or 3 months, you will show what you have done to the client, so that what they will do now? So if there are like any changes, the client will go ahead and make the changes immediately. That means for every now and then you will go ahead and make the changes. So either you can call it as a sprint or release or build. You can either call it as a sprint or release or build or release. Now coming to sprint finalization. Sprint finalization means what? It is a sign-off meeting for Jiras. It is a sign-off meeting for Jiras in which your Scrum Master, QA lead, technical lead, everyone will be involving, and they will finalize the schedule of the sprint. They will finalize the schedule of the sprint. So when can they go ahead and finalize? Only once we have completed all our activities, then only they will go ahead and finalize. Okay, and on this date, we can go ahead and finalize the sprint. Okay.
Okay.
Now coming to Jiras. Jiras means what? Jiras are nothing but it is a high level requirement which contains both business and functional requirements. Which contains both business and functional requirements. That means BRS, FRS and SRS documents together, you call it as Jiras. Now coming to Scrum meeting. Scrum meeting means what? Or Scrum call. So this is nothing but it is a check-in call in which your Scrum Master, QA lead, technical lead, everyone will be involving, and they will discuss about the status of the sprint. They will discuss about the status of the sprint. That means how much is completed, how much needs to be completed, how long it will take for you to complete. So these all comes under Scrum meeting. Okay, and then next one is sprint sign off. Sprint sign off means it is a meeting in which your Scrum Master, QA team, technical team, everyone will be involving, and they will finalize the schedule of the sprint. That means this sprint has been completed. Now we can go for the next sprint or next release. Okay, and then next one is QA team. QA team means testing team. QA team is nothing but the testing team. Technical team is
Development team.
yes, technical team is nothing but the development team. Okay. If they ask you, can you please explain me about the agile model that you have worked in your previous project? Then how you are going to explain? See, this is how you have to explain. Listen carefully. So in agile methodology, a Scrum Master will interact with the client. They will try to collect the requirements from the client, and then they are going to prepare the JIRAs. And then they are going to prepare the JIRAs. So once the Scrum Master prepares the JIRAs, we will have a sprint finalization meeting. We will have a sprint finalization meeting. So in that meeting, your Scrum Master, technical lead, QA lead, everyone will be involving, and they will finalize the sprint. They will finalize the schedule of the sprint. So once the sprint schedule has finalized, technical team will start the development activities and QA team will start the testing activities only based on the JIRAs. Okay, only based on the JIRAs. So during the sprint on a daily basis, we will have a Scrum call or Scrum meeting, and we will discuss about the status of the sprint. That means how much is completed, how much needs to be completed, how long it will take for you to complete. Okay, and after that we will have a sprint sign off call, and they will sign off the sprint and release the sprint to the client. So immediately what will happen? Immediately next sprint will start with new JIRAs. New JIRAs means with new BRS, FRS and SRS documents, and with the updation of the existing JIRAs. With the updation of the existing JIRAs. So did you understand, Mandeep? So this is about
Yes.
agile model. Okay. Now, next, last topic in manual testing is real-time terminologies and scenarios. Real-time terminologies and scenarios. Okay, so now, what are the real-time terminologies that you have? Real-time terminologies. That means in real time, what are the terminologies that you are going to use? We will discuss here. First one is defect. So what do you understand? So first one, okay, let me tell you what is an error. First one, what is an error? What is an error? A mistake in the coding part is called error. A mistake in the coding part is called error. So error will be identified by whom? By the development team during performing reviews. A mistake in the coding part is called error. So error will be identified by the development team during performing reviews. Okay, then what is a defect? Defect means what? Defect. A mismatch expected result of the test case with actual result in the application is called a defect. A mismatch between the expected result of the test case with actual result in the application is called a defect. So defect means what? It will be identified by whom?
Testing team.
Very good. Defect will be identified by the testing team during performing testing in a project. I told you, a defect means a mismatch between. That means if expected result is not same as the actual result, then it is a defect. See, if both are not same, then the status will fail. If both are same, then the status will pass. Okay. Now next one is a bug. Bug means what? Bug. If a defect,
A small error in the code.
if a defect is accepted by the development team, we are calling it as a bug. If a defect is accepted by the development team, we are calling it as a bug. That means definition wise only we have a difference between a defect and a bug, but practically both are same. If a defect is accepted by the development team, we are calling it as a bug. So definition wise only we have a difference between a defect and a bug. one is what? Ticket. Ticket means ticket, a problem which is related to the environment. A problem which is related to the environment. So it can be like either a hardware related thing or software related thing. We are reporting it as a ticket. So let's say you got a project. So something is not working, like your laptop is not working or your software is not working. So what you will do? You will go ahead and report it as a ticket. You will go ahead and report it as a ticket. Okay. Now, next one is defect. Defect age means what? You should know what is the defect age. Age of the defect, right? The time gap between the new status and closed status of the defect is called a defect age. I'll tell you, see. Let's say last Sunday you have raised a defect and this Sunday you are closing the defect. So what is the defect density? What is the defect age?
1 week.
1 week. It is 1 week. So the time gap between the new status and closed status or current status of the defect is called a defect age. So the defect age is 1 week. The next one is what? Defect density. Defect density means defect density.
Seriousness of the defect?
That yes, it defines for average how many lines of code we have identified one defect in the application. It means it defines for average how many lines of code we have identified one defect in the application. Okay, so let's say, see here, defect density. Defect density, I have a formula here. Defect density is equal to total number of lines of code divided by number of defects identified. So let's say altogether we have 50,000 lines of code. Altogether we have 50,000 lines of code. So out of this 50,000 lines of code, you could find only 100 defects as a tester. So that means for average, how many lines of code you could find one defect in the application? For average, how many lines of code?
500.
That means for every 500 lines of code, LOC means lines of code. That means for every 500 lines of code, you could find one defect in the application. So that is called defect density. Okay, that is called defect density. That means for every 500 lines of code, you could find one defect in the application. Okay, any questions? Any questions?
No.
No?
No. No.
Now, next one is production defect. What is a production defect? Production defect.
The defect is not done by developers. Okay.
A defect which has been identified by the client or end user during production is called a production defect. Okay, a defect which has been identified by the client or end user during production is called a production defect. So who is responsible? Like if ever you find any defects during production, so who will be responsible? Who will be responsible if ever you find any defects during production?
Team.
Developer team?
Testing team is only responsible if ever you find any defects during production. Okay, during production, if ever you find any defects, only testing team is responsible, not anyone. Okay. Now, next one is defect leakage. What is the defect leakage? leakage. A defect which has leaked from one environment to another environment is called a defect leakage. So defect leakage is happening in the application when? Because of the improper deployments. Because of the improper deployments. That means if the application is not deployed properly from development team to testing, or from testing to UAT, or from UAT to production, then who will be responsible? Development team is only responsible. Okay, now next one is a check-in call. Check-in call means who? Check-in call. Nothing but it's a conference call, right? Check-in call is nothing but it is a conference call. Check-in call is nothing but it is a conference call in which your offshore team, onshore team and client will be joining to discuss about the status of the project. That means how much is completed, how much needs to be completed, how long it will take for you to complete. So this call comes under a check-in call. Okay, now next one is what? Task. Task means what?
My work.
Task. Task is nothing but the work. Task is nothing but the work which we need to perform in a project. Task is nothing but the work which we need to perform in a project. So there are two different types of tasks. What are they? Weekly task and daily task. Weekly task and daily task. Weekly task means like every week, like you will be given a task. Like you can do it weekly wise, like test cases. So test cases will take like this, like a week to go ahead and write. Okay, daily task means like to test something, like whether username is working or password is working or whether logo is working. So this all comes under daily task. Okay, next one is what? Task allocation. Task allocation means how we are getting the tasks in a project. So how we are getting the task in our project? Directly from the client. Okay, so tasks can be allocated to all the team members based on their experience, designation and skills. Am I right? Tasks can be allocated based on your experience, designation and skills. Okay, and the next one is what? Severity. Severity means severity. The seriousness of the defect.
Security.
The seriousness of the defect with respect to other functionality is called severity. The seriousness of the defect with respect to other functionality is called severity. That means how seriously the identified defect is impacting on the related functionalities of the application. How seriously the identified defect is impacting on the related functionalities of the application. Okay, so there are 5 different statuses available. What are they? Low, medium, high, very high, urgent. Low, medium, high, very high and urgent. Now coming to low. Low, medium, very high, and these are all the 5 different statuses that we have. Okay, and then now coming to priority. Priority means how soon the development team needs to fix the defect. Priority defines how soon the development team needs to fix the defect. So altogether we have 5 different statuses available here. What are they? Like low, medium, high, very high and urgent. Low, medium, high, very high and urgent. So these are all the severities and priorities. So these are all the real-time terminologies that you should know. So you came to know like what are all the real-time terminologies? So Priority and severity, again we will go ahead and do this one in the quality center. Okay, severity and priority, again we will go ahead and do it in the quality center. Any questions? Any questions? Or you want me to repeat anything?
No.
Okay, now different types of projects. Last topic, manual testing.
Hello, Achana.
Yeah, yes, go ahead, Elvin.
Kabati.
Yeah.
Can you come again on the priority and severity? Sorry.
Yeah, priority means what? Priority means how soon the development team needs to fix the defect. So it can be low or it can be high. It depends on the task, whatever is provided to you. So let's say some advertisement is not working. So the priority can be low. It is not that important to fix it right away. Am I right?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Now coming to severity. Severity means the seriousness of the defect. That means how important it is on the application.
Okay.
Seriousness of the defect with respect to other functionalities. So let's take username. So if username is that is important, because if you don't enter the username, you can't go ahead and log in into the application, right? So how seriously it impacts on the related functionalities. It's called severity.
Okay. So every of this, each of priority and severity has the tiers like low, medium, high, very high, and urgent. Each of them.
Yes, each of them. Yes. Okay. So
Okay.
again, again, we are going to learn this one in the quality center too.
Oh, all right.
Okay. Again, we are going to learn this one in the quality center.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Now we go for different types. Different types of projects. So according to the budget, there are two different types of projects available. According to the budget, there are two different types of projects available. What are they?
Product based and
Billing project, billable project, I can say. Billable project and fixed project. Billable project means client is going to pay the bill for each and every resource who is working in a project. So let's say we all are in a project, okay? So let's say I'm a client. So I will go ahead and pay the budget. I will go ahead and pay to each and every team member. Like it doesn't matter like how long it takes. It can take either a year or 2 years or 5 years. But for each and every resource, how many hours they work, how many years they work, I'm going to pay each and every resource individually. But whereas fixed project is nothing but it is a project in which client is paying the fixed budget for completion of the project. Okay, the client is going to pay the fixed budget for completion of the project. So client will say, okay, I'm going to give you 5 millions. Within this 5 millions, I want my project to be completed. It doesn't matter how many resources he hires. It doesn't matter at all. What we have to do, what the client will say is, I am giving 5 millions. Within this 5 millions, I want my project to be completed. Okay, that is a fixed project. So there the client may hire the resources as a full, like project manager can hire the resources as a full-time employees, so that he will try to pay them less. Did you understand, Elchin? Mandar, Mandeep, Sapna,
yes.
Abati?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so this is all about our manual testing. This is all about our manual testing. Until here, half portion is completed. Now we go for quality center. Until here, 50% is completed, I can say. Now we can go for a quality center. Well, you know what is a quality center? So we are left with quality center and QTP, which is an automation tool. Okay, so what is a quality center? What do we understand by quality center?
Testing team.
No. Quality center, it is a defect tracking tool. See, in manual testing, you have tested so many things. But in case if ever you find any defects, how you are going to raise the defects? You understood? How you are going to raise? by using a tool called Quality Center. So did you all install the softwares on your system?
Yes.
Mandeep, yes. What about others?
Yes.
Mandar, yes. Okay, good. Elchin, Uga,
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yes. Yes.
uh, could you repeat the question, please?
yeah, what I'm saying is, did you all install the softwares on your system?
You mean the Selenium and other stuff?
No, not Selenium. This QA software, like VMware Station, these all. Did you share
Oh,
to the support
oh,
desk?
yeah. There was 12
Just
applications. or something.
just not me, because the file share, they didn't allow me like to do like after 6. Then I forget. I'm gonna do today after class.
Yeah, not today. Like downloading. Did you do downloading or no?
No. I couldn't finish downloading.
You have.
I will. Yeah, I will finish today, and I'm gonna install everything.
Yeah, sure. Make sure like you call the support desk. You have the number at the bottom of your email, right? You just give them a
Yes.
call so that they will go ahead and install the software. And what
Okay.
Sapna, what about you?
Me?
Sapna, did you install the software?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Yeah. So everyone, make sure like you go ahead and install it. For whoever hasn't installed, make sure like you install. Abati, what about you? Did you install the software?
No, I haven't.
So check with them tomorrow. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, check, make sure like why they did not install and make sure like if everything is okay. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So now coming to quality center, which is a quality center. So quality center is nothing but it is a defect tracking tool. That means if ever you find any defects, we are going to raise the defects by using a tool called quality center. So you have so many defect tracking tools like Bugzilla, Zira. These are all the defect tracking tools. So, but mostly in the real-time projects, everyone is using this quality center only. Okay, so if they ask you what is automation testing, then what you will say? Performing testing on the software application with the help of an automation tool is called automation testing. Performing testing on the software application with the help of an automation tool is called automation. So as per the usage, these automation tools are divided into 3 types. Automation tools are divided into 3 types. What are they? Functional testing tools, then test management tool, and performance. Okay, functional testing tool, test management tool, and performance tool. Now, coming to the first one is the functional testing tool. So, what do you understand by functional testing tool? Functional testing tool.
Testing the functionality of the system by automation.
A tool which we are using to test the functionality of the application is called a functional testing tool. A tool which we are using to test the functionality of the application is called a functional testing tool. Example like QTP, Selenium, these are all the functional testing tools. Then what about the test management tool? Test management tool. A tool which we are using to manage the entire testing process is called a test management tool. a tool which we are using to test the entire testing process is called test management tool. Example like Quality Center, okay, Bugzilla, ClearQuest, Zira, these are all the test management tool. Now coming to performance tool. Performance tool means a tool which we are using to test the performance of the application is called a performance tool. Example, Load Runner, JMeter, Silk Performer, these are all the performance tools. Okay, these are all the performance tools. Okay, any questions? No? So if they ask you what is quality center, then what you will say? Ask you what is quality center, what you say? Quality center is a test management tool developed by Mercury Interactive Corporation. Mercury Interactive Corporation. And later on it has been acquired by whom?
HP.
Very good. Later on it has been acquired by HP. So that's why we call it as HPQC, HPQTP. Okay? HPQC, HPQTP. So these are all the what do you call this? This all comes under quality center only. Okay, so there are two different types of components available here under quality center. What are they? Site admin and quality center. Site administration and quality. Site administration and quality center. See here, I have a site administration that is like, let's say, see here, you should have VMware workstation available on your desktop. You should have VMware workstation available on your desktop. Okay, if you have this on your desktop, then only we can go ahead and work on it. Okay, any questions?
Not so far.
No? Okay. So make sure, like, whoever did not install the software, go ahead and just try to install this tool. We are going to start it in tomorrow's class. Okay, everyone. So I want everyone to go ahead and install that software on your system. Without that, we can't proceed. Okay.
Achana, do we have to talk to the team?
Yes, go ahead and talk with the team. Maybe like if you don't install, just go ahead and check with